everybody, what is up? Welcome back to another hashtag Lockboss show and giveaway. So here in just a few moments, we'll go ahead and get started. And as you can see in the announcements, we have a special guest tonight, Todd Adams with Ilco. And we're going to be talking about this little guy, the RW5. So it'll be a lot of fun. And of course, I'm going to be drinking a Topo Chico. Let me go ahead and crack this bad boy open here. And yeah, you know, last week I had my first ever. Of course, I wasn't here, so I got a summons for jury duty, which thankfully got canceled. So it was kind of, I think it was the first show I've ever been in town and watched happen. So it's kind of fun. So thank you all for tuning in. Little quick fun fact, my wife actually had jury duty today. She actually had to go in and she texted me and said she got released. So that was pretty exciting. But anyways, I hope you all are doing wonderful on this Tuesday. And let's go ahead and bring Todd on, have a little bit of fun, and of course, announce the 5 lucky Lockboss winners here shortly. Todd, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
You know, doing pretty good. I have to say, I really appreciate the fact, it's 7 o'clock on your time zone right now, and I appreciate you willing to come on and hang out with us here for a little bit. So I much appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem at all. Thanks for having me.
So Todd, if we could just start off, if you could just tell everyone kind of what you do, what your job over there at Ilco is.
Okay. I'm the automotive product manager for Ilco and Advanced Diagnostics. So really anything automotive related falls under my umbrella, from Ilco keys, automotive keys, transponder keys, the clonable keys, the very popular lookalike remotes, and then the cloning equipment like the new RW5, and then everything under the Advanced Diagnostics product name as well follows under my product management area. So anything pretty much automotive related that isn't residential, that isn't key cutting machines, that isn't lock cylinders, kind of falls under my umbrella.
Which is kind of a lot, right? I mean, think about throughout the years, like how many new automotive keys you all are releasing, all the advanced diagnostic stuff that's being released. You have a lot going on, a lot of new products every year.
It is a lot, but I can tell you, automotive is absolutely, to me, the most fun area of the field that we're in. It's a moving target. It's always changing. Something always new to learn. There's nothing stagnant about it. It's kind of like the weather in North Carolina. We can have all 4 seasons in 1 week. If you don't like the weather, wait a minute. That's kind of how automotive goes. Something's going to change quickly in automotive.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, at minimum, I don't think you'll ever be bored, right?
I don't think so. No.
And just for the record, we like to talk a lot about the Ilco key blank directory book.
Yep.
And although you have products in it, right, that's still in Walter's camp. And so I don't really think, you're not really the person to give us updates on that. Am I right?
I don't have a ton of updates on it. I know it's coming very, very soon. For the right amount of money, I probably could get a few advanced copies. No, I'm just joking. I have no more access to it than you do right now.
I'd say, don't tempt us, Todd.
But no, I actually talked to Walter about it this morning, and it is coming very, very soon. We're excited to finally get it out.
Okay, cool. So when it comes to the RW5, it was recently released, I don't know, month and a half ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Of course, we put a video out. I put a video out testing it. And I really wanted to bring you on and kind of just talk a little bit about it, get a kind of an insider perspective. And I just want to start off with the fact that it's really cool that it's much smaller and mobile than the other ones.
Yep.
And is what I'm most curious about is I think Ilco has the longest running cloner on the market today through the RW series.
Correct.
And I'm curious if someone has a older RW machine, even like a RW4, what would be the main why would someone want to upgrade to this RW5?
There's a couple advantages of RW5. First thing being it is completely portable, got its own internal battery. But the most important feature of the RW5 is we've kind of future-proofed it, so to speak. That device there, pretty much 100% of the cloning is done in the cloud. So you have, back to our previous series of cloners, the RW4 Plus and then the M-Box, both of those devices are built into one with the RW5, so you have the modem to touch the internet. So since all the cloning is now done in the cloud, you are not facing any restrictions on computing power of the cloning device itself or memory issues, because everything is just read on the RW5 and then sent to our computers for the cloning to be done there. So any development that we come out with, and we're working on quite a bit of new cloning development, there's never going to be any restrictions, or shouldn't, in theory, be any restrictions on the RW5 as to what we can add to it, because the cloning is actually done externally from the device itself.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's good, right? I mean, as the technology continues to change, right, it's not fun when you have the RW4, you're putting a M-Box underneath it, or
Exactly.
and now you're connected to the internet and all that back and forth stuff. So that's really good. So, kind of a mistake I made in the video, which I didn't realize it was a mistake till afterwards, is I talked about the MyKeys Pro app, which, by the way, I've seen some questions about the MyKeys Pro app. In the future, who would be the best person to talk to about that? Is that you?
It all depends which subject area we're talking about. Walter right now is kind of managing the MyKeys Pro app until we get a new digital product manager on board. But all the different product managers, we kind of, keep an eye out on our content area to help, guide, or not help guide Walter, but help assist him with MyKeys Pro. So any one of the product managers can help if it's pertaining to their area, but Walter would probably be the first place we'd start.
Okay. So, I mean, in other words, after we see him hit a golf ball off the key blank catalog, we can then start hitting him up over the MyKeys Pro app. Perfect.
Exactly.
But so the mistake I made was, so with the MyKeys Pro app, you have to register this device, right? And you have to sync it in.
That's correct.
The mistake I made is that you don't even need the MyKeys Pro app after that spot, after you have this connected to Wi-Fi. You can just use this to program the keys. So in other words, once you register and get it connected, let's say to this building's Wi-Fi, as long as I'm in distance of this building's Wi-Fi, I can just use the little menu right here on the screen. You don't have to have the app.
Exactly.
Now,
I wouldn't say that you made so much of a mistake. It can be completely personal preference. You can still drive the RW5 from the MyKeys Pro app, but you don't have to. The only place that MyKeys Pro app is mandatory is registration and setting up the Wi-Fi connection. And that's done through the MyKeys Pro app, not the web browser. So you need to do it through the app. But once you do that, you have the freedom to run that device standalone mode. You don't need anything else. But you can still, for official personal preference, drive it from the app itself.
Yes. Or another good example of that would be if I'd want to use the app. Let's say if I was out of this building and I was maybe out at a job site somewhere, I would want to be using the app because it's connected to the internet.
That's right. I've actually, at the Aloha show last year, when I first had my first piece of RW5 and few shows since then, I use my phone, and obviously these big convention centers and exhibition halls, I use my phone as a hotspot and drive everything right through the app. No problem at all.
Okay. Now, and I just want to be really clear. I see some comments asking about this, which is you have to have internet access to operate the RW5, and that's because all this isn't holding any really of the information. It's taking the information it needs, sending it up to the servers essentially, and then bringing the information back down to put on the key.
Exactly.
So without internet hooked to this device one way or another, through Wi-Fi, through the app, or just through your phone, it's just a black box.
It's a very attractive paperweight.
Yep. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So we got that cleared up. So the next question I have for you is, if you currently don't have a cloning device, why should someone consider the RW5 over other units on the market?
Number one, I would say, company stability, reputation, longevity, Ilco and Silka, and even Advanced Diagnostics under our automotive umbrella have all been around for a very long time. We're not companies that have shown up in the last couple of years and could possibly disappear in the next year or two. So stability of who the supplier is and the support you'll get from a company like Ilco and Silka. That would be first and foremost. The engineering resources we have dedicated to our cloning project. We have an engineer team that works strictly on cloning. So those would be probably the two biggest. This device probably at this moment clones more, or if not on par with any other cloning tool on the market. In most recent new capabilities that have been added, we have been first to market with, the 128-bit Toyota stuff, the 96-bit Honda G-Key stuff. So we are definitely trying to push the edge and put this newer, higher encrypted automotive keys in the crosshairs of being clonable. Because the way I look at cloning's a time saver, and having been in this business for quite a while and talking to locksmiths, I know time is money. So the more jobs they can get done in a day, the more money they have the opportunity to make. So for the easy jobs that can be cloned quickly and get that customer in and out and move on to another job, I mean, that is exactly what we try to do with our cloning tools, is a very easy, intuitive product that gets that job in and out the door so they can move on to the next one.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. A question that came in is, I'm curious about is there, or will there be a trade-in offer on the RW5?
Without saying too much,
Okay.
I hope so, yes. But at the moment, with the prices that we're selling the RW5 for, we felt that it would be more of an insult to offer someone that had paid $1,000+ for an RW4 Plus and then another $750, $800 for an inbox. We felt it would be an insult to offer them $100 to $200 to $300 to trade it in and get an RW5. They had too much invested in that prior equipment, and the price of this new RW5 was so cheap. For lack of a better term, there just wasn't enough meat on the bone to offer a good value for them to trade their existing equipment in. And definitely didn't want to insult someone that had spent their hard-earned money on a prior product. But there's some things coming that will pair with the RW5 that will expand that cloning capability, that once those are released, I very much want to offer a trade-in. Okay.
Very cool. Yeah, I think I think one of the best parts about the RW5 was the price that Ilco came to market with is a really competitive price,
sure.
Which is really great, obviously, for people who want to buy one, and for us it's much easier to sell with a lower price, right?
Absolutely.
Which kind of brings me to the last kind of point I want to talk about here, and maybe throw in a question or two, but that is the chips, right? So if there's one kind of complaint that we get, that we hear, maybe you hear the same thing, is, PJ, when are the chip prices going to go down, or why are they so high? And so I kind of wanted to attack that question head on and kind of hear what you have to say about it.
The chip prices, we were able to bring them down a little bit with the introduction of this new GTI Pro. At the moment, just based on everything that chip would do and the quality of the chip that we offer, I know there's far, far cheaper universal chips out there, but I know the the success rate is somewhat susceptible with those chips. Right now, and what we've got invested in those chips and what they cost us, we're kind of charging where we have to, unfortunately. So in the foreseeable future, I don't see a lot of change in the price of the chips, but trust me, if I can get them down, I would love to get them down into a much more reasonable area.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think from your perspective, then, I mean, it's if you could make them lower, you would, right? But due to all of the stuff that goes with it, that's kind of where we're at right now.
That's kind of where we're at the moment.
Okay. That's fair. So I want to ask, I have one question here. I just want to see if I can get you to answer, and then I'll be able to I'll cut you loose.
Okay.
And that question is, let me pull it up on the screen here. So the first part of this question, it says, we don't use cloning at all. I have been taught that cloning a key means the key has a built-in non-replaceable battery when it dies, and then you have to get a new key. So is that still true for the new chips, or was that kind of a few generations ago of clonable keys with Ilco?
Yeah, that's no longer true. It is definitely a few generations ago. So gosh, probably 7 or 8 years ago now, we got rid of the battery powered chips. And what it was is there wasn't technology readily available at that time in a read-write chip format for cloning some of the newer technology at that time. And our engineers came up with a circuit board that would emulate the transponder. So it wasn't a transponder chip at all. It was actually a PCB circuit board, and it definitely had a battery on it to power it. And when the battery died, you'd have to replace the battery. Mm-hmm. Battery died, the car wouldn't start. Much like what you have with a proximity fob right now. But the technology has changed quite a bit. When we introduced the GTI, the original GTI, and then everything since then, no batteries whatsoever. It's a standard transponder, just like any other transponder key you see. It's just in a read-write universal format, much like a DVD, a read-write DVD. It's blank, and we can write information to it that we've copied off of a working key. So yeah, no batteries. Long story short, no batteries at all.
Okay. Yeah, very good. Yeah, thanks for the little history on that. I'm seeing in the comments a lot of people are liking that information, so that's good. So, well, yeah, I mean, I think that's really, Todd, I could probably keep you here for an hour just asking random questions. I'm gonna resist at least this time. All right. And I'll let you get back to it. So I really appreciate you coming on, hanging out with us for a little bit, talking about the RW5. And I think I'll leave you with the smart aerial. I'm going to be doing a video about and kind of talking about the two of them, and then really getting into what I've recently learned, which is like the Smart Pro with the Smart Aerial, some of the capacities that has that I didn't even know about till recently. I'm excited to share about that. So
yeah, a lot of cool stuff with that Smart Aerial Plus. Be happy to come back on and talk with you about it, and hopefully have a lot of new stuff for the RW5 and Smart Aerial Plus at the Aloha show in August to be able to show you. Hopefully, maybe even before. But if not, hope to be showing some cool stuff for you there. And I did see one question that were we going to have the Ilco van back at the Aloha show? That is the plan, as far as I know. That van should be there.
Okay. And then map on someone's asking about the price on the RW5. I can look it up real quick. I think it's $650. Is that the map on that?
That is correct.
Okay. Yep. So $650. So, well, very good. Todd, is great chatting with you here for a few minutes, and I thank you once again and hope you have a great evening.
Oh, thank you so much. Everybody have a good evening.
Yep. We'll see you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. So that is that. Really cool to have Todd come on and hang out with us for a little bit. And let's go ahead and let's continue on the show here. Get this pulled up. Here we go. All right. So posts of the week. This one's coming in from S&M Lock and Key. Says, thanks again to everyone at CLKsupplies for the goodies. I won their Lockboss giveaways. The impressioning hand vise is really nice. This will be my third big bro, but you can never have too many good followers. Thanks again. Well, hey, glad you got that. Cool to hear you have 3 big bros, and that framing impression advice always a good one with the beanie and lanyard there. Good stuff. Thank you, S&M Lock and Key, for sending that picture in. Next up, this one comes from Scott from Fluvana Lock and Key. Hopefully I said that right. It's kind of hard to see here. I think I need to get some glasses, actually. Side note. But it says, thank you for the great gifts. Love the hoodie, and the new pinning mat is awesome. Very good. Thank you for sending that in. And yeah, love that logo there. It's pretty cool. All right. Comment of the week. So this comes from Steven. Says, wow, that machine is amazing, and I bet it could almost cook dinner. If Billy is going to be able to use it, then maybe I can too. I'm a few steps ahead of Billy because I started answering the phone almost 2 years ago. How funny is that? You know, this is referring to, if you haven't seen it already, the newest Triton video about creating a custom card. So I told you guys that we were going to kind of shift and change some things up a little bit. And what we're doing now is kind of, you're going to see Billy in some of the regular videos that we're doing. And always, you know, fun to have a little extra fun with that. But yeah, it was a pretty good video. Check it out if you have not. All right, well, it looks like we're ready to get on to this week's Lucky Lockboss winners. So let me go and fire the screen up here, and let's get on the same page on what to do if you win. You're going to want to email us your shipping info to sales@CLKsupplies.com or call us at 800-848-6989, and we'll send your gifts soon. How to win. Comment on our videos with the hashtag Lockboss. Winners will be chosen from comments on the previous week's videos for a weekly giveaway, and you will also be entered in to win a Triton Plus Ultimate Key Edition. That winner will be announced on May 4th, 2023. So that's that. And here we go for this week's 5 lucky winners. You know, I've been working on, I need to cue some music. Okay. I don't have that set up yet, but I want to start cueing some music. So I'm going to cue the fake drum roll. The winner number 1 is Sean Finger. Sean, congratulations. Winner number 2 is Ridge Edge. Ridge Edge, congratulations. Winner number 3 is North Star Lock and Safe. Congratulations. Winner number 4 is Brian Ogrim. Brian, congratulations. And last but not least, winner number 5 is Ryan Butcher. Ryan, congratulations. Very cool. Of course, we still got our Icon Lockboss hoodie or long sleeve, which you can get with free with any over $389.99, which I know so many of you have. We have a few sizes. I just was looking today that we're on back order right now. So that means you guys are getting them, which is very good. Well, I'll tell you what, that wraps up today's show. A couple things to talk about, actually, and that is the video we got coming up. I believe it's this Sunday, is another new style of video, okay? And there's something that we're going to be doing, okay? And that is we're going to kind of take you behind the scenes of my dad's locksmithing company where there's a problem. And together with his staff, with some of his staff members, we're actually going to be working on to solve this real problem. So we've shot so far 3 episodes. We're shooting another one here soon. And we're really going to get into it a little bit, and it's going to be fun. Or I hope it'll be fun for you guys. For all of us, it's kind of like, okay, let's see how this goes. But it should be interesting, to say the least. So, yeah, good stuff. But yeah, so we have that kind of coming up. Oh, and of course, if any of you, when you get your winnings, if you want to email in a picture of them, I don't think I ever say that. Just like Lily tells me, I never say to subscribe to the channel or to like the video. I don't know why, but I've always kind of felt like, hey, if you want to like it, if you want to subscribe, do it. If you don't, you're still welcome to come here and hang out. So anyways, but yeah, that's what we have for everybody. Like I think that's all we got for today. And yeah. Cool. Well, hey, I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday evening. Side note, I'm actually going to be out of town next week, so we'll have some surprise people running the show for you next week. So I will see you here in a couple weeks. But you all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you in the videos soon. Good night.